Hey everybody, welcome to the Vinyl channel. I'm that Vinyl Guy Boss. This is going to be another contest entry video. Actually, he calls it more a competition than a contest. So it's a competition video. This is put out by Keith from Attack from Down Under. It's a 2-year competition. He's calling it his Phobia and Seasons competition. He has 4 questions that he wants us to go ahead and tackle. So I'm going to go ahead and give it my best effort here. So number 1, he wants us to show an album cover that we have a phobia about. In other words, if you're afraid of spiders, then show an album cover that has spiders on it, that sort of thing. So what I have here is this one here. This is an album cover by a band called 4 to 5 Doctors. And the name of the album is Second Opinion. And I have a phobia of people with 2 heads. So if I see somebody walking on the sidewalk and they got 2 heads, I will cross the road and walk on the other side of the sidewalk until they leave, because I have a thing about people with 2 heads. So this album cover has people with 2 heads on it, which makes me a little bit eerie. So there you go. But there's the first answer for you there, Keith. There's my album cover that I have a phobia about. So let's go ahead and get on to a second question, which actually has 2 different parts. So show an album that makes you think of a winter, and then show an album that makes you think of summer. So I have a couple of records here. The first one here is going to be the winter one, and this here is a Halloween themed record. Of course, I'm in Central Florida, so it doesn't get cold here until around Halloween time, if then, or soon after. This is about the time that we start seeing the temperatures come down into the 70s or 60s. It's roughly around the Halloween time. So any records about Halloween definitely makes me think about winter, because in Florida, when it's 70 degrees, it is cold and it is winter. So, but there you go. That's the very first record that makes me think about winter. And the second record here that makes me think about summer is the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. This record has a lot of bright, sunny sounding songs. Sloop John B, Wouldn't It Be Nice, etc., etc., etc. All those songs are just sunny and bright, and definitely makes me think about summer. And this was pressed on this awesome split yellow and green vinyl in stereo. So, but there you go. That's the record that makes you think about summer. Okay, so now we're going to move on to question number 3. Show a weird soundtrack. So I have a soundtrack for you here. By the way, I'm a big soundtrack collector. I have a whole room full of soundtracks, but I found this one here. So this one is original motion picture score and music by Neil Hefti. If you're not familiar with Neil Hefti, he's the guy who did the Batman score for the original 1960s Batman show. So, but this here is the soundtrack to How to Murder Your Wife. So this is a movie that came out in 1965 starring Jack Lemmon. There was a bachelor party and a woman jumped out of a cake, and he decided to go ahead and propose to this woman, and comedy ensues. It's a hysterical movie. I'm a big fan of Jack Lemmon. And I've seen this movie a couple times. It's a really great movie, really great comedy. I think a little bit ahead of its time, but it's definitely a title to a soundtrack that we probably wouldn't normally see. How to Murder Your Wife. So there you go. There's the question to number 3. Show a weird soundtrack. So now we're moving on to number 4, and that is talk about a favorite record store. And show something that you would have got from them, whether it be a record or a poster or a sticker or something, right? So right down the road from me, maybe 6 miles, not too far down the road, is a great record store. It's called Jesse Carl's. And if you're familiar with my opening videos back, I started doing an opening video about 5 or 6 years ago. Jesse Carl was the background for the opening of that video. But a really great store, a lot of used records. They have brand new records. They have really great prices. Every time you go in there, there's someone friendly behind the counter. I really like Jesse Carl's a lot. And but this here is a record I got from them, and there's a little bit of a story behind it. So this here is Jethro Tull and Stormwatch. Now, I'm a fan of Jethro Tull, And so that day I went into the record store into Jesse Carl's, and I was digging in their dollar bin. That's pretty much what I do every time I go in there. Sometimes I don't find anything. Other times I find, you know, something I'm interested in hearing. And for some reason, they had this record was in the dollar bin, and it was still sealed and brand new. So I don't know why. Now it was a cutout. It's got a cutout here, which is fine. But I don't know why they had this sitting in their dollar bin whenever it was sealed and brand new. It didn't appear to be anything wrong with it other than the cutout in the corner. I have no idea why it was just for $1. I didn't have this record in my collection. An opportunity to go ahead and pick this up for $1, of course. I went ahead and grabbed it. I took it home, opened it up, played it. Sound excellent. No problems at all. Brand new record. So I was very happy with it. But to this day, I still wonder why Jesse Carl's had this sitting in their dollar bin whenever it was sealed and brand new. So it's not a reissue or anything. It is an OG pressing. So I'm not sure of the exact year it came out. I'm sure it says here, but there's not enough light. I think it says 79. I think it says 79. So I guess this came out in 1979. So, but there you go. That's something that I bought from Jesse Carl's. And if you're ever in Lakeland, Florida, stop by and check them out. So there you go, Keith from Down Under. By the way, he had on a Cold Chisel shirt on his video whenever he did this. I will put a link down below to his video. Be sure and check him out, give him a sub, and jump on this contest. But he had on a Cold Chisel shirt, which is an Australian band. I have 2 or 3 Cold Chisel albums. They're a great rock band. So it was cool seeing that t-shirt. But I do want to thank Keith for hosting this contest. I do want to thank everybody for watching today, and I'll see you all next time.